meeting of the year.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
Yuppie. The first meeting of the year of 2022.
Yeah.
Which is going to
Happy
be a
New
very
Year.
exciting year. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you.
Good. So, Jim, maybe you want to say that in the last 2 weeks, we had a meeting about 2 weeks ago, I think,
Yeah.
where we started to define the first donation cycle. And in the last 2 weeks, we worked on a one-pager. Maybe you want to share it with everyone.
Yes. Okay. Just a second.
And yeah, and the idea is to start the first donation process. And the one pager described the process.
Yeah, I looked
Dimitri,
over.
yeah.
Sorry, I looked over it, but I didn't have time to, you know, to review it properly.
Okay, no, just go through that. Everyone can contribute there. Dimitri, did you hear before about Dimitri and Hussein? Did you hear before about Littlefish and what we are trying to do with it?
Correct. I did hear about it. Just I think it was at the last meeting where Nori was talking about the Sakura proposal, and then he mentioned about this one. I think it was the last meeting that we had regarding climate for Cardano for climate. So just now I saw this notice and I thought I'll jump in and see what it's about, because I have some things that I might like to propose. So I'm just in the process of opening out the form and seeing, and then I can fill it out straight away.
Perfect. Yeah, so Littlefish, you want to say what it is, or you want me to go ahead, Jem?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
So Littlefish is a community-driven initiative, which is going to be a DAO. And the objective is basically to create a mechanism where we can provide resources, donations to activists on the ground. So to build a DAO like that, a little bit in the way of Kiva. So how can we bring proposals of people doing activities on the ground, verify them, vote, you know, put some money and vote where the money is going to support them. And now we are going to trace the activities. So the way we choose to do it, we choose to basically start doing it by learning by doing. And we kind of designed the first cycle already, which is this white paper. And then start monthly processes where we learn every month and improve and give feedback and start creating the model. So that's really where we are, and it's going to be very exciting. And the idea is to build something very scalable, but we start step by step with the first cycle. Hey, Melanie. Yeah, like a snail.
Happy New Year, everybody. Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
Hello, Melanie.
New Year.
Welcome.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Good to see you all. I see Yoram just jumped right into business.
Yeah.
Always.
I mean, it's we don't have time. We have a lot to do this year. No, I'm kidding. Wait.
No, not. There's a kidding in that, and there's a not a kidding too. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you
Well,
can stop me.
My family just left. Have had a very full house over the holidays, and as soon as they left, I brought some 2x4s inside so that I can start doing some construction on this tiny house to turn this RV into a tiny house. We've already pulled out some windows and, you know, done some stuff. So it's kind of exciting new year to do this, because it'll end up being a guest house when we build our other one. But so far it's kind of cozy. It's also good living
Nice.
small too, right? Yeah. So fill me in on people's lives first, and then we'll jump into business. 5 minutes. I need to hear how my friends are doing.
Go for it.
I enter New Year with COVID, most probably because my brother is COVID positive, and I have a little bit cough. Yeah, that's news from me. And new first time it's happening to me after all this more than 2 years of COVID.
Yeah, same here. My daughter just tested positive for COVID with a home test, so I expect it'll sweep through our household as well.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry for that.
So Yoram, you've been here a little bit longer than the rest of us. What's the good advice?
ooh la la. So we got it. So we are 5 in the house. I get my younger son got it first, then my daughter. They didn't feel anything, to be honest. I mean, they have no symptoms. Then I got it, and it was not very nice, to be honest. I still feel it a little bit, but it's not not very tough as well, but it's not very nice. But the advice is really, I mean, it's to rest a lot. And sometimes you need that Nori and Melanie to tell you, go to rest. But but no, I rested a lot. But yeah, I mean, everyone get it different. And then my wife got it as well, so she's getting out of it now, and she didn't get it strong at all.
So my daughter had it last year. Maybe my husband had it. I'm not sure. I haven't had it. But she started getting busy too soon. So that's why I'm, going to say caution you when you start feeling better, stop and just allow your body to get well. We'll take care of everything else. Half of us are healthy. We can handle this. So Ryan too, 3 boys.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So yeah.
So can I share something that I've had experience with, which is not COVID, but in Sri Lanka, here we have this thing called dengue fever. Dengue is another viral parasite, which is like malaria, same family, malaria, filaria. So it's a tropical disease. And one of the things that's been found to be very effective, and which I personally have found to be very effective against viral flus, hence I thought I'll share it with Yoram and my other friend who says he could be having COVID, is that, and this is proven to be effective. So you all can Google and see dengue cure papaw leaf. So basically, my family hasn't had dengue, but my kids have had viral flus many times over the last 12 years. And what we do is essentially we take the papaw leaf, papaw means the papaya leaf, and we take a good leaf, not a sickly leaf, and we strip the stem off and we pound it in a hand pounder, and we squeeze out the resulting juice, and we take 2 or 3 teaspoons or 1 or 2 tablespoons once or twice a day, depending on the severity of the flu symptoms. So it's been found to be very effective. In my case, 100% success rate for any viral flu that the boys got. I haven't had any viral flus therefore, but if ever I did, I once had a stomach flu and I took it and it got cured as well. So I realized it's not just flu viruses, but also stomach viruses. And this is going to be my first line of defense if ever the boys or myself gets COVID. So if you guys have the ability to source this, it's been found and it's been done, I mean, given to Sri Lankans in hospitals where basically it kills the virus and it boosts the platelet count, because with dengue, what happens is the platelet count drops to less than 20,000. And the worse it gets, the worse it drops. So essentially, they haven't discovered exactly what's going on, but evidence proves that it's been very effective against viral flus. So for anyone who has the ability, it's not going to do you any harm, and it might just as well cure this virus. This is virus and it has the flu symptoms, so maybe it will be useful.
Thanks, Dimitri.
Sure, no problem.
So papaya leaves.
Yeah. You don't dilute it. You just pound it and you squeeze it and you take a couple of spoons of the juice. It's awful. It's probably the worst thing you will ever take in your life. The taste of it, but it's effective.
Yeah.
Can't hurt.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Great.
Simon, how are you holding up?
Yeah, I mean, no COVID in my family, so everything is good here. I was in the mountains the last couple of days, caught up with my family, and not much else going on right now.
Sorry, Simon, there's a young person in the room. All us older people always wave. Yeah. It's like, oh, kid, a baby. Wow. Thank you, Dimitri, for that info, Simon. So up in the mountains, I'm just sort of sliding into moderating this meeting, but I really don't need to be doing this. Jem, if you want to take over, and because you know what's
okay
going on.
It's
Shakan,
really good.
Shakan, how have you been? Shakan. Shakan.
You're very close. I think you can.
Getting there, just little by little. Snail. Remember, think of the snail. Little by little.
I'm doing great, Melanie. I'm doing okay. No COVID for me. Just working at this point. I'm just learning. There's a lot to learn. It's kind of exhausting, to be honest. It's a lot to learn, because there are lots of different things that you have to be able to do in order to be able to develop in this space. So I'm just learning at this point.
What you're focusing on learning? What's the key?
Well, right now, I'm trying to learn JavaScript first. So I'm using JavaScript. I'm doing some tests. I'm doing some IPFS work, how we can store some data on IPFS and access it. There are some good APIs on it in JavaScript. I'm looking at those mostly right now. For the changes.
Excuse me. I'm just looking at this form and it's asking me for the member name on Discord. So if someone can share with me the Discord channel for me to join.
Yeah, sure.
I'll put it in the chat for you. It is also in the one pager that we linked.
See, Melanie, Dimitri is also very serious.
He is very serious. Yeah, I can tell he wants to get going on this. Jem, how have you been doing?
It's great for me. It turned out to be, we are expecting our third daughter now. and she's 3 months now. And it is she. We learned that.
Daughter again, okay.
Yeah.
You were curious about her, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, number 7 will be a boy.
Just keep
I
at
don't
it.
have any intentions.
Three
It's
okay
okay
is
to
good.
be with 3 daughters.
Very nice news.
Thank you, Melanie.
And
Yeah.
did you have time for family at all this? Like we had an obvious holiday here.
We also did, Chuck and I separated for a while for working. And yeah, my family was also, my father and mother was also in Izmir with us. We celebrated the New Year. It was okay.
Nice. Very nice. Ryan, how about you? How you feeling?
Doing good. Yeah, I was probably sick for 2 days. I was pretty much just completely laying on the couch. I don't really take anything ever. But I did see a study came out of the University of Florida, Benadryl and basically whole milk. There's a protein in whole milk, and then combined with the antihistamines and Benadryl reduces COVID 99% or something like that. Its ability to reproduce in your body. So I did that one day, and I was only down 2 days. The boys all only had a fever for maybe 12 to 16 hours at most, where they just touched on 100. But we let fevers go here for the most part, unless they get up above 102 or something. You know, the fever is the body's mechanism for healing, so we let it do its work. But yeah, now we're just cooped up inside because of the snow, and it's a little crazy.
What's the name of the cure? Can you write it to the chat?
Yeah, I'll put the article up. It's an initial study
great.
out of University of Florida. Yeah. But yeah, again, you know, healthy living. I mean, if you're taking care of yourself, you should be, you'll get sick, but it shouldn't kill you, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, just whole foods. I try to eat basically just all whole foods all the time, and nothing processed. But yeah, I was looking also, I watched a YouTube, I don't know, a couple days ago. I'm part of this other Discord, NASEC, NASEC, and they seem to do a lot of really more code stuff on there. But there is an individual just developed a DAO for doing little pools. I know it's Littlefish, but it's for distributing people's stake to small actors. And he came up with a solution that IOHK hasn't been able to figure out yet, or something. And he's all open source and all everything. So I'm gonna try to post that video up here too, because absolutely he's on a parallel path to what's happening here. And yeah, so I'll try to find that, and I'll get that other article up too. There's, you know, so much information. This NASEC, I don't know what it is, but it blows up all the time, and it seems like almost everybody is. It's one of the only Discords I've seen where almost everybody is coding on it. There's not, yeah, everybody's talking code stuff. So it's above my head, but occasionally something rubs off on me.
Yeah.
I saw Nori perk up when you said that, little pools. Nori, your turn.
My turn for what?
Talking, unless you talked yourself out before I showed up.
No, I'm just getting back into it slowly. My family is kind of sick right now, and I'm feeling pretty okay. So I'm just waiting to see what happens. I imagine that I'll get it as well, but yeah, thankfully we're starting the year off pretty slowly, so I don't expect to be fully engaged till next week anyway. So let's see how things go. But yeah, just kind of working on people passing around documents and all that kind of stuff.
Did you go for your polar bear swim?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a little shocking. I've done that once, not a polar bear swim, but jumping into a very, very cold, dark pool from a very high height, and it was very shocking.
Yeah, the ocean was about 4 degrees. So it was pretty cold, but it's good. We do it every year.
So, and
So
Ryan,
you get to the water? You you get to the water and then what? You swim a little bit and
Yeah,
run out.
stay in for 10 or 15 seconds and then come out. And you're shockingly warm afterwards. Your body really responds quickly. It's not too bad. It's just that while you're in the water for the first few seconds, it's really horrible.
Yeah.
So welcome, Brian. We're just kind of catching up and touching base with each other after a bit of a break. Welcome to the group. Dimitri, you've kind of jumped into health, but how are you? How's your holidays been?
I'm excited because I just got a breakthrough on a project that I was working from September. I don't know whether I told you about it, the NFT collection that I was trying to build to mitigate the human-elephant conflict. And what happened was back in September, October, this thing came to a standstill because my programmer had some difficulties and we couldn't solve. So now I found someone else who may be able to overcome that, and therefore they are conversant with NFTs. So God willing, as soon as they give me a proper proposal and I can get some funding for doing it, we launch a 10,000 NFT collection, Sri Lanka's first large NFT collection. And part of the proceeds from that, I plan on putting towards some actual proven solutions for the human-elephant conflict. So essentially, for those who don't know, what this term refers to is in border villages, due to elephant corridors and elephant habitat being overrun by farming and other man-made operations, the elephants often come stampeding into villages because they are encroaching on their feeding areas, or basically maybe they don't even have anywhere else to go. So as a result, people get killed, properties get destroyed, elephants get shot. So this is a needless death on both sides. So if we can have funds to build, because people have so many ideas and things, but some of these solutions are not practical. So it's where I need to meet with experts whom I know personally on this subject, and they will be able to give proven solutions that have worked and they know are cost effective and will deliver the outcome that everybody wants. I mean, the elephants don't tell us, but obviously that's what they want as well. So so that's the plan. So 10,000 NFTs coming soon, I think, I hope. So New Year is exciting.
Yeah, it makes me think of, you know, how do we track all the projects? Has someone figured that out? You know, how do we, because I spent a little bit of time over the holidays just, you know, checking in with a few things like Empower, and it's Casa Real that's building some sustainable buildings, just kind of checking in. I've heard about them before and I had a chance to check in, and it's like, there's so many things going on, you know, how do we,
which
how
projects do you mean?
The Empower one, it's Casa Real. They had funding in Fund 4. I believe they've just constructed 4 houses.
Do you mean like all the different climate related proposals or projects?
Yeah, just anything, you know, that we're interested in or that we're following. You know, they seem to be all over. You might hit and miss on YouTube. You know, it's very disorienting, you know.
Yeah.
That one came through a Reddit post. I was Googling something else and it came up in a Reddit post, and I found this. But, you know, how do we keep track of things we care about, like Dimitri's project?
I think that's very important, but I think we should keep that for Wednesday maybe, and focus today more a little on
the DAO.
Littlefish.
Yeah. So Brian, we were just chit-chatting and catching up after the holidays. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Just getting back into the idea of working again.
Welcome.
Back into the idea of working. Yes, I like that.
Yeah. picking away at my Fund 6 projects.
So, and how do you mean picking away the funded projects? Tell us about them. Just
They're not related to Littlefish, but one of my Fund 6 projects is a reachability dashboard for Cardano relays. Basically, the idea is if the internet gets segmented, say an underwater cable gets sliced, I'd like to know what parts of the world can talk to other parts of the world. And it would just be a very high level diagnostic tool for explaining what we may see if the network ever gets segmented.
Oh,
This is
nice project.
specifically for stake pools.
what's that?
It's for stake pools is the dashboard that Brian's creating.
Brian, what will happen if something happens to the ocean cables regarding the Cardano blockchain? I don't know the impact.
I don't think anyone does.
Oh.
Maybe that's a
Well,
fun
I'm
day.
just
Damage
sorry,
the
I'm
cable.
glad that there's so many different eyes all over the places and different perspectives on this, because it's something I would have never thought of. Jem, I think Jem or Simon, I think you're going to take over from now on. I'm just going to do the intro and you guys just go ahead. I'm going to sit back
Yeah,
and listen.
Okay, Chakan will share the proposal draft. So, can you share it?
Oh, wait a second. I didn't see the host.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first doc in the chat is the kind of the one pager, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the first donation cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, for the first donation cycle, we plan to have everything manually by hand. So we will analyze everything after the proposals and votes and donations, and we will decide on how to automate them and how to make them. And additionally, we want to give away the NFTs of the first proposals and the first donations. So I think in the next case, they will be valuable. And we will also distribute our token, Littlefish token, to everyone participating.
Go over the process and explain the
Yeah,
steps.
maybe we can talk about the timeline. I have a few things in my mind. If there is nothing to tell regarding what Jem said, right?
Yeah, it's okay. Okay.
Okay, so the timeline. Yeah, this is just for the try, but I'm trying to think from the view of eyes of the proposers, because there is not so much time, and the you know, impacts to present is very close. So I'm thinking, what can be done in a month as an activity, for example? So, or otherwise, how we can prepare a proposal in very short time of period, because this is not distributed to anyone yet, right? The only ones who know this proposal is the team. And based on this, do we have a conflict of interest here? Can we propose something as a team member? These things I couldn't find.
That's a good
Or
point.
is it important that much in this stage? Because it's just to try, right? To see what's happening.
Yeah. This is just a trial, but you can also submit a proposal. And also, yeah, Dimitri. Yeah. Ah, great. Yeah, so we received our first submission, right? Great.
A very small
Yeah,
project, or at least it's a piece of the project.
Sorry, Dimitri?
It's a small piece of a much bigger project, which I have in mind. but
Yeah.
I have to structure it based on the terms of the cap. So what I've done is I've taken a small part of the overall project and I've submitted it as a start. So based on whether it's considered valuable or not, that would be a not a benchmark, but a indicator of getting the larger project or funded through idea scale as well. Because the project itself needs a lot more than 1,000 ADA, but 1,000 ADA can be used as the seed, we'll call it the seed fund for the first core part of the project. But the overall project needs more to build it up. So this is a start of it. So, and also this is something that can be immediately fulfilled and activated within the 1 month, since you all are giving somewhere about 1 month to do the actual execution of it. So all that can be done through the small part of the bigger project.
Yeah, great. But no, this is great. But Uzgo, the question was in terms of the timing, right? I mean, the idea is, I think we wanted also to present it in after town hall on Wednesday. So kind of after town hall session and maybe even in town hall. And then we have still a week from today to get proposals. And we don't expect to get 100 proposals for the first one, right? If we get 3, 5, 7 proposals, it's already
like 5 or
yeah.
6. More than that, it's going to be difficult to handle with these time considerations, like Özgür mentioned. So just a few is enough.
Exactly. So the idea is to we need to publish it somehow this way, 1-pager and a teaser. Jerem said that he might work on a teaser. And then maybe we show it on Wednesday, and then we need to publish it in the social network.
Yeah.
And then see who suggests something, if that makes sense.
It looks to me like you want to be able to track some sort of impact by February 14th, correct?
Yeah, that's my
Whatever the fund goes out, it's really fast and it's going to actually do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it's
Dimitri,
straightforward.
it may be yours works, but it has to be something that's going to be really fast. And are you looking at possibly donations towards activities already going on? What kind of proposals are we looking for? Catalyst based, off chain, something that Catalyst doesn't cover? What are we looking for?
What would define there? Do we define it?
No, it's not clear.
I can share what yeah, I mean, this is what my proposal is essentially.
One second, Dimitri, but what we defined, we didn't define proposal submission, each community. So we said that each community member basically can propose a proposal. So we didn't limit it. So it was important that we can add more stuff if we want.
Point, I think we chose to keep it a little unclear as to see what the community comes up with, to be honest. And then we could decide on how we want to actually allocate that money as a community. And if that project actually fits what we want to do or not in time as we get those proposals.
And how are we defining impact?
Impact, I mean, you're touching probably the most important thing, which is defining impact and measuring impact. Okay, this is the two. So I think the project have to define it in the form, right? We said, okay, how you, also that was something that we left.
Yeah.
Track impact. But in the form itself, in the form, did we put a place to that people have to define their impact, right?
I think it is no. Yeah. It is very general now. It is also one way to see how things can evolve. We can keep it also open, I think.
Yeah,
but timeline is very critical for me. Where we want to see the impact is, in very short time or period. And we don't foresee any timeline for the next.
We want to make it short because we want to have the system work on time. So in the next decades, an activist can have a proposal and get funded immediately, maybe after seconds or minutes. So we also want to test it because in the system, there's no way for people to send donations or money from many people to one people or vice versa. So we also want to implement this part, and we want to have a framework about it.
It's one thing that came up in the video yesterday with Empower and Casa Real. They were talking about how quick it was to get funding for their project. It would have taken them 7 months going through the banking system. And that's 7 months that they could have been doing something else. So basically the idea of this first donation round is just to prove concept that this actually works. It doesn't really matter what the project is as much as that the system of we're starting the first iteration, practicing with a little lump sum of money and donating it, and then tracking impact. So that's just basically all this is, right? So we don't have to get into details of exactly what the project is. Is there anything specifically that you might be hoping to look for as a project, though?
I'm thinking about, I mean, like one way, or something interesting is how do we know the reputation of the people, and maybe that is also kind of relevant to how we get new people into this funding mechanism. Or am I too far off? I'm not sure.
No, reputation is very important also. And I think the reputation comes through a community member that either a community member proposes a proposal like Dimitri just did, either a community member knows a certain proposal, a certain activist that he wants to help and finance, and he recommends it. So you have the trust through, initial trust through a community member, okay, originally. But we need definitely to fine tune it when we go to bigger amounts and different cycles.
And this is it. It's a smaller amount right now that if for some reason it falls apart and the person, Dimitri, suddenly turns into a scammer and he takes off with a 500 ADA we send him, it's not going to be the end of the world. We know he won't do it, but it's a safe bet. Yeah.
Now, one question, for example, if we do the 1,000 ADA, how does it go? If it goes to one place or it goes to several places? Also something, I don't know if we define that for the voting. It was not defined, right?
Yeah, it motivates me to look around and just feel out where where a contribution, a small contribution might make a difference. Whether it's, Fairy Creek, some sort of a fund to aid protesters. If we could each just sort of maybe look for something small that we could do, and see, just test it out on several different things, because this funding round, we're going to vote on one project or divvy it up between several projects. Have we figured that out?
Yeah, another thing relates to this, Melanie, I think the negotiation process. So whether the amount is requested will be filled directly, or if there are certain good projects related, maybe we could negotiate the process with the proposer by offering less amount of budget and cooperating between different proposers. Well, this is difficult to automate, I believe, but we should think about this kind of things, I think. Let's say that we have only 1,500 ADA in the beginning, and we have 3 projects, and all of them ask for 1,000. Shall we say them, okay, we could provide you 500 for each, if you still are interested, if you are still interested in running the project? So that can be a simple negotiation.
So I think the first question for this cycle that we need to ask ourselves, if we want to give to one project or to multiple projects, and now we decide that. Right, that's the question number 1.
Yeah, and is it just easier to deal with one project to test the system, Jem? What do you think? And Simon,
didn't we decide on one project for now? On a
yeah, we can have one, or we can have many. I think if we have more than one, we can have more things to analyze. So it has
I think last time, because of the size of the funding, we already decided that it's going to be one for the first iteration.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can give a lot. People suggest, like Dimitri and other people can suggest projects, and then we vote, and then the winning project will get the money. And if it's less than 1,000 ADA, so the second winning get the difference, right?
Yeah.
So let's say a project asks for 500 ADA, and there is 1,000 ADA. The first one get the 500, and the second one get also 500. That makes sense?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that is the catalyst system, right? So
yeah,
I think it would make sense. Yeah.
Do you think can we collect that amount of money?
Sorry?
Can we collect that amount of money? 1,500 ADAs.
1,000 ADAs, we hope. I mean, we need to start publishing that to everyone and start sending money. Yeah.
Okay.
So as far as spending or sending the money, we don't have anything to actually generate income yet. So it's just a straight donation on our part, testing out the system, and it goes to whoever, and then we figure out. So that's fine. But eventually the idea is to be able to have pools where we put money in and it self-generates. Are we going to be able to make it sustainable? I just asked this because I get the Green Party, every email I've got is a chip in, pay some more, pay some more, pay some more. And I have a limit, I don't have deep pockets. So how are we going to work on that so that we're not always asking people for more money? Can we take what we get to begin with and create something else? Do we keep maybe a portion of the donations back? I don't know. Just so that it's not always asking people for more money, because it needs to kind of grow somehow.
Yeah, you're right.
What if people could just, decide what they want to fund, and if the project gets enough funds, then the project is funded, like some of the Kickstarter, like Kickstart, but just for climate activity or activism.
I think
So that's what I meant.
longer term, looking at like what Melanie was getting at, I think is trying to create some kind of an endowment fund or something that the principal's never touched, and we stake it and it grows 5% every year. And that 5% is what we donate out. And our donation drives add to the endowment. They don't add to the funds we're giving out, so that the amount we can give out over time grows. And that's how a lot of the bigger charities and endowment funds work, is they don't ever touch their principal. They use the interest from the investments to do it. So that way, every year, without having to get more money, they're able to give out the same amount, or based on how much return they get. And if we're really looking at something long-term and impactful over decades, that's kind of, I'd love to see us get to that point. So like Melanie said, I've been in communities where there's been continual donation drives, and that money raised goes out. So you constantly have to do it. And there's fatigue that happens. People run out of money, or they get tired of giving all the time. And I'd rather much give to something that I know is going to be giving for the next 100 years, because it's that money is being put to work rather than just being given out.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the Kiva model, right? I mean, eventually that you get back your that you basically lend the money and you get back the call.
Don't even have to lend it. It can be a donation, but knowing that donation itself is never spent. It's used to create interest, which is then used to be given out.
What if the proposals bring their own audience to the system? Like we can have the donation buttons and other stuff and web pages, and the proposals will bring their audience, and they will fund the system and the proposals. They can paste it on YouTube, on Twitter, and other sites like Patreon.
Exactly. That's a good way also, I think. That's a good way to cooperate with the proposer.
Yeah, Chakan, can you show the image that I sent you? I can't make it from iPad.
And
So,
that's the other, sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, by this way, we can extend the community easily. So in the forms, we can request for Twitter shares and other stuff, and we want to see them, and we can give them a unique link, and they can get the donations from here, and in return of the donations, they can get the tokens of the Littlefish, so they can exchange it later on exchanges and other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, seems good.
So this way they can get funds instantly, and they can have their NFTs, badges, and medals in their social pages, and they can share it also.
What's good is also good to see the progress bar. For example, the amount raised by the donator, proposer. In that way, we can also engage proposers to, maybe get some points, some notifications that they can be engaged. A kind of gamification, we also considered this. Proposers can show also their enthusiasm in that way and commitment to the platform.
Yeah.
It also grows the community too, right? And that
Exactly.
it becomes the Littlefish button is a filter, and you know that
Yeah.
you can trust it to go, and then you test it out and you trust it. And then because a lot of those platforms, the ones that I see, they go through GoFundMe or some other platform that takes out what 20% of what they do. So,
Yeah.
if we can emulate what they do on these other projects too, I can see it being a win-win across the board.
Exactly.
Would it be too painful to treat this like the fund that we want to treat it like eventually? Say we raise 1,000 ADA in the beginning and we give out the whatever 1/12 of the 5%, so just under 0.5%, and sure it's only 80 ADA or whatever, but I think in terms of marketability and getting other people to donate to round 2, round 3, round 4, see the sustainability of the model and the commitment to the model, and it won't be as great for the initial proposals and proposers because they won't get as high of a thing. But I think the visual look at doing what we want to be and how we want to be self-sustaining and how we want to be an endowment and treating it like that instead of giving all of our funding away every round until we figure out another way to make that happen. Maybe in the second month we're at 2,000, maybe 5,000, and we start giving a more substantial amount while at the same time growing, not spending the endowment every month until we figure out a better way.
One way that we discussed was the kind of to have the SPO, right? So, but then we need to get to significant amount somehow to be able to have significant donations.
That's it. Instead of giving it all away every, because if we're looking at doing this, whatever, I don't know if it's a monthly cycle or what it is. If we give it away every month, it's going to a long time to get there, but if we get 10,000, 20,000, it looks good, and we can start, people will invest in that if they see a model that we've been following. It looks really good. It looks good.
Yeah, we also want to make a stake pool. We will be doing it with Nori. There's an initiative to collect the pools, small pools. So we will start there. It's in the plan.
Yeah, I definitely feel more comfortable, contributing a bigger amount, knowing that it's not all getting blown, so to speak, the first time, because I don't have that bottomless pit. And if we can figure out, we can support the system through the stake pool, we're using our money to work with the system, generating income from the system completely honestly and well done. We're not trying to scam anybody with bring this in, and if you put in 3 more people below you, you're going to start making some money. We're not doing that. We have to think of another way of generating income that is legit, transparent, feel good, when you give to it, and that these are people that I absolutely trust.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so some ways can be So it can be multiple options as well, right? Some people can, if you have a stake pool, some people can say, okay, I want to donate money. One new option that came to mind is we can actually, in the proposal we are doing for Fund 8, each person that wants can say, okay, 1% of the proposal amount is going to go to Littlefish. I mean, that's something that sometimes happens. I don't know if it makes sense in this context, but sometimes in raising money, it's something that happens. So you are supporting also another initiative of the community. Or later on, when you support a project at scale, you can commit to give some of the profit that you have into donations. This is a model that I saw, but yeah, but this will take time.
So is
Yeah.
it possible to give the consumer the power to decide this? You know, I'm a big corporation. I want carbon footprint credit. I want to give out $10,000. This is what I want. This is where I want my money to go. You know, I care about the sustainability of this program. So I want it, you know, most of my principal, most of the money to go to a fund that will grow for future generations. That's what I care about. Are we able to do that?
Yeah, we can do it. We will have the
Awesome.
options for for donation, for funding, and for purchasing items maybe, and for staking the money. Yeah, we will have several options. And also, we want to implement the social page with Sharkan. We talked about it today, and we will have a social page like a wallet, and it will represent the NFTs earned and other stuff, the donations received or the donations made. So I think it will be also good.
To have this page for the first cycle, it would just be a basic page showing the contents of NFTs that we can mint out pretty easily using existing tools. So these would just contain some image saying you participated in the first Littlefish donation cycle. Thank you for participating. Just basic stuff that we can, if we can get them to display by the first cycle, it would be awesome. But if not, it's for the next cycle, and then we can build on top of that, maybe.
Well, even having a first edition NFT, first cycle of something that turns into something big is pretty cool. You know, if it could be the NFT could be built on. I want one of those. I don't really care about NFTs in general, but this is something that I feel like I'm investing in. I want one of these, and I want, you know, to be able to pass it on to somebody and say, look, I was part of this project from the very beginning. Yeah, very cool. So some sort of addition to first cycle, second cycle, and then we're going to get to the 574th cycle. Yeah.
I hope so.
Do we plan on any other kinds of return of investment other than stake pools?
Token. We will have the tokens. And donations will be made in exchange of the tokens. So there will be a tokenomics. So we will spare some for development for the team and for charity also. And we will decide also tokenomics. And after that, we will distribute our tokens. And we want to put them also in the exchanges for later time.
Is it possible to do something like what Littercoin is doing and keeping it in a circle economy so that these tokens have, maybe I'm asking for too much, but the tokens we give out are not spent on a new iPad. You know, they're spent towards a zero waste or, you know, something that can be verified that it's in the carbon carbon people, a community that cares about carbon, cares about our footprint.
To be honest, I'm not sure if that is such a good idea, because if we hand out the tokens to someone and he's gonna do some important work or some activist, and he will not be able to use the token the way he wants, then he wants to use them. Maybe he needs, I don't know, a shovel or whatever, and he needs to buy that.
Yeah, so I'm talking about like myself. If I go and I donate 100 ADA, then I'm going to get a token back. Is that correct?
Yeah.
In exchange
Oh.
for my donation.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
the ADA goes to the proposer and their work needs to be done. That's a different thing.
Sorry.
So this is the incentive for me to donate. And is it possible to maybe use that similar to what Littercoin does, where you get 10% off in a wide range of products? Or maybe we connect with Littercoin into what, or we tap into the circle economy somewhere. And this is where we can use our tokens. I wasn't even thinking about having anything back for what I donate, but to have something else back, and it's kind of like, oh, great, because then I can take that more of it out of the fiat system and help support somebody else. I like that. That's like passing it forward, because I do something.
It's possible.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so there are many elements here, right? Also for the following cycles. Not everything will be ready now, but one is that, which is excellent. So basically, anyone that donate money gets tokens, and these tokens potentially can redeem them as a discount buying in a bio shop or travel website, or someone that is associated with the platform, right? And more we grow, the easier it is to get deals with this type of companies. So that's one. And second is all the offsetting, carbon offsetting, right? So if we find companies or ourselves that we can actually connect it to offsetting of our own carbon, or if we can bring companies that want to offset their carbon and say, okay, you are supporting directly projects, and then and then maybe a small part of it will stay for the pool, for the general pool or whatever. So we can build slowly the pool, and then the pool is going to then generate the interest that we want. But for that, we will need good marketing also. Start marketing to all of these guys and talking with them, and we can see maybe you can use code for that as well.
Yeah. Well, this will come later on, right? I mean, once we are known a little bit and we are supporting and in an legitimate way, and then we can create collaborations with everyone, of course. There are many businesses out there who use green technologies and working in the climate action related sector.
No, but this is really a niche. There is a lot of projects or a lot of people selling to corporate carbon credit solutions, right? So, I mean, this is just a brainstorming, but if we decide strategically to give a solution for these guys, where they can actually, so we give a solution for these guys where they can bring on their projects, then they bring on the companies that they promote to, and instead of money going directly there, it goes to a stake pool to then generate. I can give you an example of this. I actually saw today a video of a project like that raised regenerative agriculture, that raised $2 million, I think, or something like this for Microsoft to support a regenerative agriculture project and offset their carbon. So this type, if we build a platform for this type of people, we actually will start having, we provide a platform for them, and they will start being salespeople basically for the platform. Right, and there's a lot of people like that. I will share with you this video. It's interesting. Cohen did an interview to this guy. One second. So instead of just donating, we can tell all of these guys, you know, give it to the stake pool and your money stays, and the interest goes to the, it's here, it's called Region Networks.
I guess we could do multiple tiers. So basically, like, I guess what you suggested was, like, for example, the MELT token handout, where you could stake to the stake pool and then you would get token. Was that it, or was it you give the money to us and we stake we put the token on in the stake pool, and we basically hold it for them? So,
yeah, we offer them the ADAs, right? And the stake will generate profit. This profit goes into offsetting carbon, so they can offset carbon from their books, and they still get in the end of the period the ADA. I mean, the only risk they have is that it's a risk for that they lose their ADA, that the ADA price goes down, right? That's the only risk they have. But anyway, they were willing to, Microsoft anyway gave this $2 million to the project, right? So they got zero. Here, Microsoft will put $10 million in ADAs. The interest there will go to the project, and they will still have the ADAs in the end. Something like that.
Something that's coming up for me, as you mentioned, the stake pool operators, is our climate neutral Cardano stake pool, who's going to be losing their foundation delegation coming up. Is there a way that we can actually support them somehow in the meantime of working on our stake pool operator, our own stake pool? Is there some way that we can support them as Littlefish in this upcoming? And then the other one was, I'll think about it in a second, just.
For me, rather than having everybody delegate to a stake pool to support this, having a wallet or a set of wallets that hold the Littlefish treasury is much more flexible, because in the future, there may be things other than stake pools. There may be liquidity pools or other kind of DeFi products that we want to diversify into and have a bunch of different investments and manage it as kind of a fund. And then as the fund generates revenue, that's the stuff that gets deployed out to projects and out into the field. So having it just be a stake pool, I think would be pretty limiting, because that's a fixed 4.5–5% a year kind of thing. But in the future, there's going to be all sorts of different DeFi products on the Cardano blockchain that can be leveraged through liquidity mining or other things that are going to happen through automated market makers and things like that to generate even more revenue. And it's all, yeah, so I would love to see it not just a stake pool that people delegate to, but rather a thing that people donate to, and that becomes part of the foundational kind of amount of money that's invested and used.
Yeah, I guess I didn't understand, what operating a stake pool is. I'm thinking it from my perspective, having ADA in my wallet, I can choose who I delegate it to. So so that would be the idea, is having a Littlefish wallet with our initial funding in it, and having it in the wallet, we're obviously going to, well, not obviously, but we'd stake it to a pool, correct?
Yeah.
Or and then once we figure out how the sharing pool works, then that's where that one would go. Is that the idea? In a simple way?
Yeah, in a simple way. And Yeah, because ultimately with DeFi products, there'll be alternatives to staking where you lock up your ADA in different contracts for different periods of time, and it gives you varying returns. But I do like the idea of exchanging tokens for the donations. So people have those tokens as they donate. But I guess my biggest thing is I don't want to spend those donations directly on projects. I'd rather invest it and spend the interest.
So the other thing that came up for me was Veritree is 1,000 ADA. You have your name put on a certain area where they plant the trees. This is also a project that we could consider as well that has a specific, it's measured impact. It is an idea, and then we're supporting something, because I put 200 ADA away in our Cardano for Climate wallet for that purpose, to start building that up for Cardano for Climate. Could be one of the proposals that we put in. It's an easy one to put in actually as a proposer because it's out there.
If people are staking their money or exchanging them with the tokens, then we can have a part that supports Cardano projects. So they can select the Cardano projects from there and they can support them. This is also possible.
So you're saying that if I wanted to take that 200 ADA and put it towards Veritree through Littlefish Foundation, we can do that?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I would get a token back that would say, I've donated to Veritree through Littlefish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Also, drip, dripdrops.io. This is making similar thing. So we can make it for SDG activities in Cardano.
Do you have a link for that one, Tim?
Yeah. I think it's
so we get the tokens, and what can we do with the tokens? Maybe we can buy different things on discounts on the Cardano actually blockchain, right? With the tokens, so you can buy I don't know, whatever NFTs with the discount. I don't know if it's possible actually to buy with discounts on the.
Yeah, the tokens can be spent on these projects and other places that protect the climate. We can have agreements with the projects, and we can request discounts.
Yeah.
Is there some way that people could show off, like make it a social thing, like like an award or something, that when people see their messages in chat, like Reddit, has little awards or tags, a little tag that says I've donated to Littlefish.
Yeah, and also have the NFT, right? I donated in the first cycle, second cycle. I donated 5 times, whatever. Yeah.
I've seen places like churches and temples building like a wall of Buddhas, and each one has a family's name or something, and they bought it, and it goes into this huge construction. I'm wondering if there's a way of doing something similar so that you could actually see the people's names or families' names or whatever of people that have contributed to this massive project, and have, I don't know, just thinking way out there, maybe we could build something in one of the metaverse places and populate it with the NFTs of people that donate. So it's a visual reminder or something they can go visit. But we could start with something that sits in their wallet and then later transfer it over or something like that.
yeah, I mean, there's so many ideas. I love it, and we need to define all of that. And we do it maybe month by month. We can try, but then eventually, yeah, we need to decide also some longer-term strategy.
So we could also use the NFT as a vote too, couldn't we? So if I've made a contribution and I get 3 NFTs for the amount I put in, I could actually give it back and saying I support this particular project. I'm just thinking within our own circle, we can maybe do that. The other way would be to say we're supporting things on the Cardano blockchain, whether it's NFT artists. I have this first edition Littlefish donation. I'd like to buy this NFT off of you. This one is worth X number of ADA. Yours is worth this. I'm going to give you 2 of these. We can start doing that though, right? Is there any reason we can't?
No.
I don't exactly know how NFTs work, but if I find value in something and I'm going to share it with somebody or trade with somebody, we can do that. We can start creating our own economy. There's also, I'm thinking of it because there's the new swarm group, the creatives, that are working on artists creating NFTs. So we could support them somehow.
Yeah, they can make NFTs for our projects and they can be more valuable by this way. Can we contact them?
The creatives?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could. I'll message them right now.
I'm already part of the creatives group. So yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I
great.
saw that. Yeah.
I mean, in regards to NFT creation itself, that's something I can do if that's something you all are wanting to do, because that's one of the projects that I'm doing anyway. So that's a possibility.
Yeah, great. So can you have NFTs for the submitted proposals or the winning proposal from the creators?
So I'll ask them for some sort of, I'm not sure that they know exactly how to do the NFTs from artwork yet. This
I
is
know it.
the off-chain artist.
Yeah.
You know how to do that?
Yeah,
So
we
just
I do
need
know
the
how to
artist.
do that.
Yeah, I know it. There are several ways. You can make it from the CLI, or there is a site called Cardano. Just a second.
NFT.io.
CardanoNativeToken.com. There are dashes. I'm sharing it with you. Just a second.
So that's similar to the NFT maker, because I did that.
Yeah.
I submitted a PDF of a photo and turned it into my first NFT. So basically it's a photo or a piece of artwork. Does it need to be pixelated digitally?
Would have to convert that physical piece of art into digital somehow. You would probably need, I mean, depending on the detail, you would probably need to work with a professional photography studio so they can get the lighting just right, so you can have the high definition shots. But it would be unusual for everyone involved, I guess. So you might not get the full definition photo you were looking for.
My daughter's just started into photography with a good camera, and she actually has a studio. So maybe we work, somehow with her, because I've been trying to figure out how to turn her work into NFTs, and maybe this is the way we can start it. Yeah. So I'll bypass. I'll put the word out to the creatives, and I'll also mention it to my daughter. About taking high quality photos for this. Okay.
Yeah, my dad is also an artist, so I'm not sure I think we're talking about art for the NFTs, right? I think you can contribute to that.
Just to understand, since I'm creating NFTs, you all want to create an NFT for each proposal, or you want to create a line of NFTs to be distributed to the donors?
For the winning proposal, one NFT for the winning proposal, and for donators, and that's all.
Okay, so what needs to happen is the design of the NFT needs to be created, or you would give the design and that needs to be made into an NFT?
No, just the design is okay. I can take the rest. I can convert it to NFTs and other stuff.
So you want what you're saying is you want a concept of an artwork where it will be based on Littlefish and saying something to the effect of winning proposal or donor to Littlefish or something like that.
Yeah, both apply. Also, I think we need to distribute the forms. Can we take a part on this? We need to distribute it on several channels and groups. I think this is the most important part. Right. Can you all take a part on distribution of the forms?
Yes. Do we have?
Great.
Don't we have? I mean, we have a Twitter for Cardano for climate, but do we have one for Littlefish as well?
Yeah. I can share them with you, and I will also make a poster for the proposal, and I will share the proposal with all of you on the Discord channel. I can have it, I think.
All right. So it says in the one pager that 10th of January is proposal submission. Are we going to just all propose on the January of 10th, or is it the end or the start of proposal submission?
It's the end.
It's the end,
right? Yeah.
So in order, did I get this right? You want us to send out the form for this first funding round to the community. Is it going to be donations or proposals or both?
Both of them.
Both of them on the same form?
Yeah, it can be. We can have several posters or forms.
No, but the form is for the proposals, no?
Yes.
Yeah. What about the donations, Göran? What should we do?
I think if we all agree, I mean, we need to promote, but for this first donation cycle, everyone pass as much money as you want, and that's it to one account, and up to 1,000 ADAs in total of everyone. And this we have until when to do that? We have 10 days or until the 16th to do that, no?
Yeah.
So do we want it on the same form, or do we want to send it? I'm just thinking about the logistics of sending out two forms versus sending out one.
The form is designed for a proposal. So if they're not for a donator.
For the donation, we'll just have the wallet address on the flyer, and someone can scan it with a QR or copy it.
I can make a QR code
and then send it. We won't have a different proposal form, different form for the donations.
Okay.
The question is how to explain that good now to the community and distribute that. So
what's our blurb? Yeah, what's the blurb with this?
And and it's a fair thing related to what they get, right? So because there's no coin for now, and there's there's NFT.
There's coin. I made it.
Okay.
Yeah, just a second. I can send it to you.
So you made already coins?
Yeah, I made it.
And what's the tokenomic of that will do? So every donation basically will be equal to
Yeah.
to 1 coin.
Yes,
Every
for now, we will just send 1 coin. That's the second time testing it here.
and our goal is in the future to connect this coin to some kind of discount.
Yeah.
But the minting of the coins is also costs something, right? So if people on average donate less than the minting costs, we don't have anything to spend it on. We spend it all on tokens. So what are we gonna
Yeah,
do there?
we don't have any tokenomics yet, so we will decide it later. But
No,
we
I
can
mean
just
not tokens, but NFTs. The minting of NFTs. If we send everyone who donates 1 NFT, then and it's 100 people or something, I think we pay 208 or something, right? So that would be 20%.
I don't know the exact values right now, but it's not so much, I think.
Is it
In
2
Ethereum,
ADA? About 2 ADA to mint an NFT?
1.4, I think, ADA.
Still, like it's 14%, right?
So if I donate 148, is it right? 10%? No, 1%.
1%, yeah, but it will change.
1% goes.
It will be like a pyramid. So in the first beginning of our project, we will give 1 NFTs and other stuff, but maybe next year or something else, we apply for 10 or 20 projects or something. We will decide it.
Right,
but this is just the beginning. Let us start and see what's happening, what we are spending, what are we doing. Can we implement it? Can we show them easily? Let us see.
Because eventually we'll be minting a bigger number of them, and it's cheaper than to mint them, right?
Yeah.
Individual right now is 1.48, so it's quite high. You're doing the sample run, you're doing the extra expense of it. Yeah, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So if I make more NFTs, the price per NFT is less? Or?
Yeah.
All right.
You can try it from Cardano. This site, just I send it to the chat. Cardano native token. You can try it. You can see the prices.
Okay, so did you say that you've actually made an NFT, Jem, for the first initial funding?
No, I didn't make them. I will do them. But I have the token. I created the token.
So, and the token is different than the NFT, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that's something we haven't dealt with at all yet, right?
Yeah. So we will see everything. We learn by doing. And we will see what is good, what is not.
So our action plan for now is to get the form out, say we're doing a test run on this DAO to get funding. This is the proposal, the initial proposal. Yeah, because I can put that out in Cardano for climate. We can do it in the Discord and the Telegram chat. I don't do the Twitter at all, Simon. Are you doing that for Cardano for climate?
I can do that, yeah.
Yeah, so if we could just let's write up something. Let's write up something that we can send with it, and maybe the QR code included in this flyer, because you mentioned a flyer, Shakan.
Yeah, I will.
Critical thing is to have the flyer ready, and then we can send it out.
And a flyer means basically a post, right?
Yes, just a poster.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the flyer, we want to say, okay, come for the first donation cycle. There's a new Littlefish, a new model being created. Come for the first donation cycle and help us build this new model. And then basically we have 4 weeks. We have a few weeks to discuss how we want it to be next time, right? And discuss all the things we discussed, the tokens, the NFTs, the revenue model. All of that every Monday, basically, we'll continue to discuss and improve on that. That's the idea somehow.
So for the donation, people will be getting an NFT. That'll be part of the flyer as well. Do we want to have the NFT figured out before and say, you know, you donate, this is the NFT first donation cycle. Here's a proposal form, everything all in one flyer. Is that what we're planning?
At this point, I don't think we can be sure that we'll have the NFTs ready by 14th, 15th, because there may be some technical issues that we'll probably face. If it's just as easy as, okay, we have a photo, let's put an NFT in it, and then we can send it, super easy, we can do it in 2 weeks. But if there are any complications that we're just not seeing, then it might be a problem if we just say, you're gonna get an NFT on the 14th. But on the poster, I think we can say we will have first generation NFTs printed for you, and then we won't say a date for them. We'll just provide it whenever we can. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, but we give a little bit the impression that basically they will get the NFT, but not on the 15, 16. They will get it in, let's say, mid-February.
Hopefully they'll get it on the 15th, but if there's a problem, yeah, whenever we can get it done. But
and then before we mint the NFTs, we would have an idea of how many we print, right? Or mint, because by the 16th, we actually have a number of donators. Is that right? And are you going to do it per donation, or is it going to be, you know, if someone decides they want to give 1,000, are they going to just get one NFT? Any donation is an NFT. I go in and I do it 5 times. I get 5 NFTs because I want to game the system. How are we going to do that?
Yeah, we can think about the model of that one. I didn't think it earlier.
But there are some.
It's a good question.
The technical difficulties that we're going to face. Like, how are we going to do it? We're going to know the addresses that sent us donations, so we can just collect the addresses and send them all one NFT, one new mint of an NFT, and then we could do one person just donated a whole lot more. We can do a special NFT for them. We can decide all that, but there might be some.
But maybe we put the amount of ADA on the NFT, and that's it.
Yeah, that works as well. You donated this much.
So
yeah,
you put the NFT and 10 ADAs, Littlefish first donation cycle.
So that would make an individual NFT though, and you want to do it more in the bulk. So you could do 10 in increments of 10 or 100, 1,000. Maybe we do it on increments. So then we'd have more of the same. Or we just do first edition and forget the amounts.
Yeah. We just do the first edition. Yeah. This is the easiest.
Keep it simple.
It's easier, but the amount is interesting. This can be the token for the future, no? I mean, if you have the amount already in the NFT, so then in the future you exchange this NFT with the benefit. You get a discount for that.
Yeah.
So into the future for that, but for now to save on, well, it would be 1.4 ADA for each individual contribution, because they will be unique when you think about fees. And when you put in $200 or 200 ADA, it isn't 200 ADA, right? With fees.
Yeah.
Oh, but the fee is very, how much is the fee? Is very low, no?
Not much. Yes, that's true.
So proposal, so what we are going to promote now to everyone, we are going to promote this teaser to this flyer to everyone about the donation cycle. And do we want to promote also that to everyone that they can suggest proposals until the 10th?
Yeah.
And then now we see the proposal, like Dimitri now send the proposal. So how the community sees and what to vote.
So that ends up in a Google document, right? The form that gets filled out. Is that public access?
We can show it on the website.
So those links, is it possible? Because I know when I sent out the form for submitting proposals for Cardano for Climate, it showed up on a Google document. And then people could see actually what's being proposed, how much people are proposing. Oh, I like that project. I'm going to jump in with them. It may be, you know, it may be a collaborative opportunity, right? So the links on this flyer are going to have the form. And is it possible to have the Google Doc Excel sheet that comes out of that as well?
I will try it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to circle back to Özgür's comments as we started the meeting. As we're talking about it, I think the logistics seem a little too tight for us. We have to get the flyer out. We have to get the proposals into the community so we can get some proposals in, and then we have to promote the proposals so people know what the donations could be on. And we're trying to do this in about 2 weeks. So I think it sounds a little too tight. Maybe you can, maybe we can give ourselves some breathing room first.
Okay. What you suggest?
So we said we would have the proposal submissions by the 10th of January and then a vote 1 week after. Maybe we can just delay everything by 1 week, 2 weeks to prepare and promote the proposals and the donations.
Also on 13th, we have the catalyst voting. So it will be a good thing to have it before the catalyst voting. So we can get the votes from there also.
It would still be before the, right now, the community vote is on the 17th. For our vote is on the 17th. The catalyst.
Did they delay it?
Before that? No. I'm talking about our vote. Our vote is, we said, is on the 17th. So we'll have the catalyst, and then we'll talk to people about our project in Catalyst, and then we'll have our vote. We decided that we would have 2 days between the Catalyst vote and our vote, so we can have people on board here. But we could still do that if we just delayed everything by 1 week.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't be as fresh in people's minds, but we would gain traction by then, and people could actually propose, actually donate.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay,
Are
and
you
when
feeling,
yeah,
are you feeling
sorry.
stressed by the yeah, because it does seem like a little bit of a panic. But what if we kept it just really simple? We've got the possibility of, you know, 2 proposals, Veritri and Dimitri's right now. We already have 2 proposals for the dry run, for the test of this process.
Submitted a third.
You submitted a third as well.
Wow.
If we can get the donations in, we already have the proposals. I think it's fine. I'm more concerned about the donations bit, but we're not looking to collect that much money anyway, so it'll probably be fine. But I do have a concern that we collect like something like 200 data, and it does look like kind of like a joke, and I don't want that to happen. So
Yeah, we didn't actually work on distribution of the call. So I think we should give some time. I agree with Khan, and maybe not even 1 week more, maybe 10 days, a little bit more.
Well, if we have too much time, then we have too many proposals in, then we have too much donation in, and we don't want that either. So we do have to like optimize for something that we have no idea on how to optimize. So it's all subjective at this point, but I don't know.
Why don't we decide once we get the 1,000 ADA, and then that'll inform us if we need to do more marketing or how much. It could go really fast, or it maybe go so slow that we know we need to expand our messaging out even further.
We have a wallet already where we can
Yeah.
donate there.
Yes, it's on the proposal form. And also, no, I'm sorry, it's on the documentation, little one pager.
Yeah, because the fear of this deadline is that we aren't going to get the 200 ADA, right? Or we're only going to get a small amount. We don't know that for sure. So if we just go with the schedule that we have and assuming that we'll get enough, if we don't get enough, we're going to say, okay, now we're going to extend it to a different date. We have 3 proposals. We have a wallet. If we get the 1,000 ADA in there in time, should we just go with the deadlines we have? Does this stress you out?
I'm okay. I'm always
No,
stressed.
but
I live in
the
stress.
thing is to do now really the marketing, right? To somehow do a nice flyer to market it to the community, and then see. I mean, we need to make sure we get to 1,000 ADA.
So the thing is that I don't know about you guys, I'm sold on this already. So you don't really need a flyer for me. And I may be able to put in a portion of it. You know, a significant portion, maybe 200 ADA. I don't know for sure, but amongst ourselves, we might be able to come up with it without the flyer. Just use it as an experiment. No. Maybe even 500 ADA total.
Yeah, I think we can come a lot of it ourselves, but I think it's cool part of the process to start communicating into the community. It's important. I mean, we want to make something that is big, right? It's not that don't forget there is next month as well, and then there's next month and next month. So it's not a sustainable solution. And it's time to communicate to the community. We need to be, you know, in Littlefish, 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 3,000 people. I mean.
Yeah.
So 10,000, 1 million.
So the pressure's back on. Sorry, Shakan, I was trying to get that pressure off of you for the flyer. It looks like the pressure's back on.
Well, I'm not the one doing the flyer, so.
No.
I will do it. Yeah.
No, but do you think that we want to delay it in 1 week, or are we okay?
Since we have the proposals, I think we're mostly okay. If we can get the flyer out by tomorrow and then do some marketing on it for a week, we can collect at least.
We're meeting again in 1 week, right?
Yeah.
So if at that point it's no good, then we're going to delay it. We can decide at that point. So Jem, do you need help with the blurb? Do you need help with the flyer?
Yeah, I can have the drafts over the Discord or Telegram channel with you.
Perfect.
And we can decide all together.
Okay, awesome.
And then we want to have a breakout room after town hall tomorrow on Wednesday, right?
Okay,
where we can explain that.
And is it going to be a Littlefish breakout room? Okay.
Yeah.
So Littlefish and C4C need to be separated there if we want to do also C4C1.
No, let's keep it that way. I'm hoping that Simon or somebody that we can get in a slide into town hall with the form that says our Cardano for Climate weekly meeting happens every Wednesday at this time. Just like Gimbal Labs have one of those slides and maybe really nice and green. I think Felix had an idea for one, but he had a park forest in it, like it didn't look healthy enough for me. Should I go through you or through Felix to get that?
You can go to Felix if you want.
Okay, I'll try and get that slide done, and then we don't have to worry about it. I think that personally, I would rather have the Wednesday meeting for Cardano for Climate and breakout rooms so that we can filter out through the community and stay connected. Because that was something that was happening for me, was I was feeling disconnected from Catalyst because we were always in our own breakout room.
Yeah.
And we already have our meeting. So is that
But we
okay?
need to have one for Littlefish after town
Little
hall.
Fish is, yes, Little Fish, let's build on that one for the breakout room for sure.
So we need a teaser or something for town hall as well.
What kind of teaser we need?
No, I mean the teaser that we are preparing now.
Okay.
That we're preparing, right? The flyer, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I can make it ready for tomorrow. But I think marketing part is the most important part.
Yeah. So the text, Melanie, if you can help in the text, that will be great.
Yeah, and I'll help in the distribution of it as well.
Yeah.
For
as well.
Yeah,
And we need to
Telegram,
call it
Discord.
also an experiment, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an experience to create. Yeah.
An experiment in our first iteration.
Yeah, of creating basically a mechanism in Cardano to support activism on the ground. So yeah.
I have an idea about it. Let me show to you tomorrow.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah,
Are we done?
I think so. Any questions? Any additions?
No, I think we discussed
Great.
so many things. The question if we keep it always the recording or maybe from next meeting do kind of a summary and add it to the white paper.
Yeah.
Because there's so many important things that we're discussing.
We have the summaries on GitHub. Did you check them?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say. I'm putting some meeting notes. They're definitely not as detailed as the actual meeting itself, but they'll be on GitHub.
That's perfect.
Already in GitHub.
And you did also for this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Wow.
Wow. Excellent. Yeah.
Just a second.
Thank you very much.
Testing.
So on GitHub, and the recording link goes on there as well?
Recording link will be in YouTube, but you can find the recording in the GitHub documents as well. I'll let it there.
Can I suggest that we create an agenda for the next time so that we can keep this meeting to an hour? It kind of rambled on, went to 2 hours, which I don't want to do every week just because we have so many long meetings. I'd rather be really efficient than social. Sorry, I love you guys, but it's
sorry,
just,
and I
everything's
took
adding
up.
up.
Yeah.
I took up 30 minutes of the first part of this meeting, so that's on me. Reconnecting after the holidays, but yeah, that's not something we can do every week.
Yeah,
push-ups, Melanie.
I just found out. I think I'm not on the GitHub repository, but that may
really?
That may be my fault.
Okay.
I mean,
No,
or is it the Cardano for Climate repository? Because that one I created, right? But,
just
but
a
it
second.
should be public. The meetings should be public.
Yeah, but is it its own repository or its own organization for Littlefish?
Yes,
That's
it's
its own
a separate
organization.
organization.
Okay, then I think I'm not on it.
Simon, can you paste your GitHub ID so I can check it?
And for the agenda, Nori, do we just do that as a Google Doc? Kind of like
Sure.
what we did for the search committee?
Yeah,
Does that
whatever is
help?
easiest, but just so that we know what we're meeting for every time.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, and also included the agenda, the links to the one pager and to the white paper, so everyone coming to the meeting, new one, can go and read that before.
And the Zoom link.
Yeah.
That's really helpful to have it all in one place. And the button and the note that says, don't forget to record this meeting. Something that we learned in the search committee agenda.
For agenda setting, I've created a Discord channel that we can use if any of us wants to talk about something before the meeting. Just put it in the agenda channel, and we can discuss there, and we can clarify everything we're talking about within the channel as well.
Where do you see it? Anyway, I need, I'm not an expert in GitHub.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Where do you see now, for example, the meeting notes, and where do you see the agenda?
I don't know. Where did you put them, Chuck?
Click the link in the chat, github.com littlefish coordination.
Yeah, I'm there.
Maybe I can just share my screen. Has only the meeting notes from last week, I mean the meeting before.
Okay.
This will contain all the other meetings. We'll have a weekly meeting too here.
Okay.
If you click this, it has all the notes. You just click this, you get the entire day.
Amazing.
This is our meeting notes from week 1. I'll show again. This is the repository from the root. You click this, and then you click this.
Perfect. In the agenda? Right here.
Well, for next week, we should definitely set a very good agenda that we can follow.
Okay. Yeah, and I think it's good to leave it in 1 hour, and then everyone that want to chat after can stay and chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Excellent. We're done?
Very exciting.
Only 2 hours this time. Really good.
Our first action of the year. Very concrete action. So very exciting.
Yeah.
So Jam's working on the flyer. We send it out. Any agenda for next week, we're going to put in the Discord channel. Is that about it? Did I sum it up?
Have to do the marketing.
Yeah.
And the town hall, we will have a town hall breakout room. I think Yoram will request it, right?
I didn't request it yet from, also from Felix, we need to request it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Melanie, you want to do it when you talk with him, or you want me to do it?
Maybe you do it, and I'll stick to the Cardano for climate.
Perfect.
And then also we can add the Littlefish information to the Cardano for climate meeting on Wednesday, whether we do a breakout room or whatever. But there's also that there.
Melanie, can you also manage the meeting as a native speaker on Wednesday?
On Wednesday for the breakout room?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll just have to fill me in case I don't know some of the details or don't remember them.
Yeah, I will be there.
Okay, sure. Happy to
Thank you.
help. Okay, this is the hard part, saying goodbye, right?
Yeah. Thank you very
Feel well,
much.
everyone.
Happy New Year,
Okay,
everybody.
ciao
See
for
you.
now.
Happy New Year.
Okay,
Happy New Year, yeah.
Bye bye.
yeah,
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year.
Bye.
It's a good one.